All right, well, we are here live at Thinker Ventures for 1 Million Cups. Happens most Wednesdays at 9 a.m., where we hear from an entrepreneur, small business owner, or another interesting person about what they're doing in the Rockford and surrounding region. Well, good morning. We are here today with an exciting presentation, company all the way out of Chattanooga. Chattanooga. That's how you say it. Chattanooga. They're going to present Velvet Robot, a super cool company that you'll want to hear about. But first, we do want to let you know the 815 Day happens tomorrow. 815. That's August 15th. Your area code is 815. Another area code, 779. Challenge you to put that into a date. So all you 815 people, you're missing out. 779 is where it's at. Party's at 779. Oh boy. So 815 Day, there's specials happening all around the Rockford area. Be sure to check those things out. If you have an event that's coming up in the next, let's say, couple of weeks that you want to get in front of everybody, this is your opportunity using the catch box, courtesy of the city of Rockford. I'm going to throw it to you, and you'll speak into the catch box just like this, and then we'll hear you on the live stream. Here we go.
Thank you. The Mayor's Hunger Luncheon is October 1st, and that's not in the next couple of weeks, but we are getting sponsorships for that event. It was recreated last year after a 10-year hiatus, and they had over 350 people attend last year, and we expect many more this year. The proceeds are going to go to the Rock River Valley food pantry, and so there are different levels of sponsorships available. If anybody is interested in more information, come see me after.
Awesome. Next. Oh man, we got a lot going on. This is great.
I'm sorry, the point is, for the 2 weeks, is that the deadline for sponsorships is in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Or August 31st.
Mayor's Hunger Luncheon. Yes.
This coming Tuesday at 3 p.m., at Grace Funeral and Cremation Services, which is at the Colonial Village Mall, there will be a seminar for education purposes on key life decisions, where you'll have an opportunity to hear from a funeral director, an estate attorney, a CPA, and a financial advisor to help you think about those end-of-life decisions and planning you should be making.
Awesome. All right.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I think that.
Oh, no.
Where's this going? What's happening? The catch box is moving.
It's a mystery.
There you are.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Diane James.
Good morning, Diane.
Hi, Jason. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. A couple things I have. Tomorrow, as Jason said, is 815 Days, and that is going to be in the alley. The Transform Rockford is having a pop-up event in the alley with a beautiful mural next to Wired Cafe. And Members Alliance is going to have a pop-up Partners in Kind. That's our initiative to help create a kinder community in Wired Cafe. So if you would come there between 9 and 11, we will buy your morning beverage. So courtesy of Members Alliance. And then another thing that I'm really excited about and pushing, if you will, is this, my Advantage Club, which is a chamber networking group, and all are welcome. It's a business after hours, so it'll be wonderful networking. Please come, bring your spouse, significant other, whoever you would. I don't know that little children would be the best because it's like a bear packer little tailgate thing. There's going to be fabulous food provided by Hoffman House and beverages, and it is September 5th from 5 to 7. So please come out.
So September 5th, 5 to 7, no children. Is that what you said?
Well,
Did I hear that?
I'm just saying there might not be I love children.
I'm just going to see how deep you dig this hole. I like children.
But please come. You're all welcome.
I mean, nothing against children, but maybe not here.
Well, this
okay, Diane.
cookbook that I've been working on for, a couple years?
Possibly.
Will be out. And you guys had some of the stuff that day that I spoke. I brought some of your...
We did last year, yeah.
And so hopefully it will be out in October. And I have little blurbs for a lot of the recipes because I don't want it to just be a cookbook. My great-grandparents were from Manchester, England, and I was able to get a recipe from their bakery, and I'm working with the Historical Society over there now to see if I can get a picture of it from a century ago. So I'm putting neat little blurbs in. I can't remember if I brought the banana bread. That's an old Rockford truck driver recipe, and one of the truck drivers at Atwood's gave me that cookbook, and so that little blurb will be in. And then the healthy end is what I'm working on now. But it's exciting. It's finally coming, and I'm just so excited about it.
That's exciting. Are you going to have a launch party? Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, and I'll just make
I was waiting for the
bits
event.
and pieces of all of the stuff in the book, and then you can try it all.
Yes. Well, don't work too hard on the healthy part of that cookbook. It's not worth
No,
it.
that's an important
That's
part.
a fad. That's going to go away. Anybody else? Anybody else have any events you want to get in front of the audience? No? All right. I'll take that catch box back. The catch box will reappear at the end of the presentation. So here's how this is going to work. For those who need to be reminded of how 1 Million Cups rolls, we're going to have our presenter, Justin, talk about Velvet Robot in just a moment. And then he's going to take maybe 7 minutes or so presenting what Velvet Robot is. And then he's going to have an opportunity to do Q&A. This is kind of a support group for entrepreneurs. We're going to come up after his presentation. So he's going to present for 7 minutes or so. I'll come up after the presentation. I'll ask him 3 important questions. What's the product or service? Who's the target audience? And what's amazing about the management team? Then we're going to ask one fourth question, which is where he's stuck. And that's his opportunity to ask us and get our input on how he can move the business forward. Would you welcome Justin for Velvet Robot?
Hello, everyone. As you said, my name's Justin, born and semi-raised in Rockford, Illinois. I moved to Florida when I was 5, so I didn't have to endure those horrible winters. So Velvet Robot started when I was probably in, I think, 6th grade. I lived in Florida. We didn't have vending machines in my middle school because down there it's open hallways, so the bugs will eat everything that you have. So I noticed, being a 6th grader and being a chubby 6th grader at that, man, what if we had candy in this school? So I went and convinced my mom to get a Sam's Club membership. We got a Sam's Club membership. I filled a backpack with candy and started selling candy in school. So I was selling candy in 6th grade, making like $200-300 a week, and having to go to Sam's Club every other day and like refill my bag. That was when the entrepreneur in me started. And it started out of just really necessity. You know, we didn't have a lot growing up, so I was like, I'll make my own money in 6th grade. So, and then I got a job at like, I think 12. I think it's illegal now. I don't know. I did dishes. But yeah, that little entrepreneur spirit kind of just stayed with me. And so it was candy. And then it was, I think in high school, we did t-shirts. We had like a little t-shirt company. I was always trying to come up with something to kind of sell and pitch to somebody. And then, so I came back to Rockford in 1999 for high school and lived here for quite a while. And then a couple years ago, I'm going to say 4 years ago, moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee. So I don't know, anybody ever been to Chattanooga before? Is anybody old enough to remember the Chattanooga Choo Choo song? Yes. Yeah, I just know it because you hear it nonstop down there to the point you just want to walk into traffic. But that's a big song. And so I had been in coffee. I worked for Pete's Coffee. I opened their flagship store on Michigan Avenue with them. I was a manager for Starbucks for many years. So that was kind of the field I was in. And when I got to Chattanooga, I just started working for this coffee roaster. And they were very slow, but it had amazing coffee. It was kind of one of those things where the product had sustained, but the marketing had died kind of situation. So needless to say, we had a lot of time. So I started making cold brew out of each of I think we had at that time 18 different coffees. And there came this one coffee that I was just blown away with when I tried the finished product. And I was like, holy buckets, like, this is great. So then I had some other people try it, and we just all kind of were on the same page, like, wow, this is really something. Like, this is a big, big deal. And so then we kind of just were like, all right, well, I have this product, but I manage this thing. What do I do with it? So I was like, oh, let's bottle it. So we started to bottle this cold brew under the umbrella of that coffee shop at the time. And a friend of mine that was a chef hosts this big, fancy supper club Now, supper clubs up here, you think Wisconsin, where I think it's like everybody gets spaghetti and meatballs and it's like $12. This supper club's $175 a person, and it's in a loft or hidden basement or hidden, UFO. It's, they're just bougie, and they sell out in 60 seconds. So they put our cold brew in there at an event, and then from then it just kind of blew up. I wasn't ready for what was going to happen. Chattanooga is blowing up and growing itself. So we started working with breweries. We started working with different coffee shops, and it really just kind of took over for itself. I left that roastery and went to a different coffee shop, and then it kind of died. And I don't know if you guys have ever had that, where your side gig suffers because of your full-time gig. So I opened this restaurant, and I was working 90 hours a week. Well, I don't know if you ever worked 90 hours a week, but there's not a lot of time for side things or anything. I slept, went to work, slept, went to work. That was all I did. And so it kind of died. Well, I also died. And so as many of you guys maybe have come to before you started whatever you're doing now, I had that moment where I was like, this sucks. You're making good money, but your life quality is destroyed. So I came to that point of the road where I was like, screw this job. I'm done with this, and kind of had that moment of life where I'm like, all right, so what am I going to do? Now, for me, I love kids, and so I was like, I want to go to school. I'd messed around with the idea the whole time, and I was like, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to be a teacher, but at least for me, what's the number one thing I think of when I think of teachers? Broke people. Most teachers, they complain about how much money they make, which is true, teachers should make more, but also what other job do you have where you get summers off, Christmas off, 2 weeks, spring break? It's kind of a sweet deal. And so I knew I was going to go back to school, and I kind of still had that coffee. I'd still done a little bit, like we were bottling for a handful of people, and then it was just kind of like, all right, the plan was set. I'm going to go to school, and I'm going to do coffee, because coffee can make me not broke, and school can fill the part of me that has to help people, because I want to be a teacher. And so I'm in school, I'm doing coffee, everything's great. We start doing farmers markets down there. That's kind of when it really took the next jump. Chattanooga hosts a very good farmers market every week that has about 10 to 20-ish thousand people. So getting into that market was great. And even that, let this be a lesson. When I signed up for the market, they said, we'll absolutely let you into the market. The problem is there's 6 other people doing exactly what you're doing. And I was like, I don't care, because I knew that we were better than them. And that's not a cocky statement. I had been to the market, I had tasted all their cold brew, and I knew that we had a superior product. And I also knew that our branding was on point. So this is our newest shirt. So we're called Velvet Robot. And I knew the branding was on point because at the market, people would buy our merch, but they didn't even buy the coffee. So they love the little robot or whatever. Oh, whoever will like that. They're like, oh, what band is that? We get that a lot with our shirts. Yeah, but the market went great, took off, really happy. School, coffee business is thriving, wholesale business is thriving. And then I had a friend in Rockford I'd been friends with for quite a while who said, hey, would you want to come here and open a coffee shop? I said, no. That was my first response. And then he's like, all right, what would it take? And so we kind of negotiated some terms that got me back here in Rockford, downtown. He owned a building. He had someone who half built the space. We were going to finish it. So I had no intention to come here, but ended up coming to Rockford to start this business. Now it's my hometown, so it means a little bit more. I don't know if you guys have left and came back, but like my grandparents come to the booth at City Market that we run. I see our shirt places, so those things mean more. I went to high school at Auburn High School, so it means more to me here. And we set out our first market. We had no idea what the reception would be, but we knew that there was a need for coffee in Rockford. And if there's a need and you have a product, that usually lines up to be successful. So we had our first market, I think it was in May 17th, and we sold out of coffee. And I was like, whoa, okay. Now some of that is your friends, like some of that is your family and all those people. And then we had the next market, and we sold out of coffee again, and I was like, might need to make more coffee. That was kind of the thought process in our mind, but no matter how much we made, we kept selling out, and then people were lingering at our booth and asking to take pictures with us every week. And so we kind of had that moment where we kind of hit it. We knew that this was something that Rockford needs, because Chattanooga is the same size as Rockford, but it has 14 coffee roasters and 20 7 independent coffee shops, plus Dunkin', plus Einstein, all those regional chains too. Saturated. Here, there's a handful of shops. And our level of like expertise with what we do in coffee is, so no one can top us to what we will say. So, yeah, that brought us to Rockford. And then since then, it's been a weird, wily roller coaster of we lost that building, we lost that deal, we had another deal, we lost that. And so here we are in Rockford, very successful with the market, enjoy where we're at, but we're also looking forward to the next thing for us, which is we want to have a retail space in Rockford that does breakfast and lunch. I have a chef background. My parents owned a restaurant in town here for a number of years, and just really kind of fill that void that we think is missing in Rockford, or maybe Beloit. We're looking at locations in Beloit right now, too. So, yeah, that's a little bit about our story.
All right, well, let's give Justin a hand for his presentation. Velvet Robot, what a cool name. I love it.
Yeah, people ask us all the time where it comes from, and it's funny because it kind of means nothing and something. I knew I wanted robot because the marketing. I knew I could brand a robot, and I
robot.
loved Lost, which had the little bad robot.
Yes.
And so I was like, all right, I'm going to just something robot. And I was on a road trip 10 hours back and forth, as I do all the time. And I heard a song and it said Velvet. And I was like, Velvet. Velvet Robot. And then I was like, all right, that's weird. And then I was like, all right. Then I thought of the tagline, which is smooth as velvet, strong like a robot. And I was like, done.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. When you said you were on a road trip, I wasn't sure if you had velvet seats or something like that. I was waiting for
you're like, ooh, the
an old car you
seat.
restored.
No.
No. Well, we do ask every presenter to answer three important questions as part of their presentation.
Yeah.
And this is an opportunity to hear from the audience what they heard from your presentation.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to ask them what you heard. The first question is, what is the product or service in your own words? Cold coffee? Mm-hmm.
Really good coffee.
Yeah.
Really good
There we
coffee. Other thoughts? No, that's pretty clear.
It's not that complex.
coffee.
It's coffee.
All right. Next question is, who's the target audience? Anyone who drinks coffee. What about people who don't drink coffee? What are you doing for them?
Well, and I think one of the other things, and I didn't, you only have 7 minutes, so it's hard to put it all in, but, so one of the things about our coffee is, number one, we use fair trade coffee, we use organic coffee, and everything's artisan, so in the sense of it's very small batch handmade, and the cool part about our coffee is people who have acid problems, our coffee is like the zero acidity. So that's the other thing too, is if you don't like coffee because of what it does to you, you can drink our coffee, and that's...
So you've got a low acidity
coffee. It never gets hot. It's brewed cold. I wish I had a little bit more time. I would have brought some for you guys.
Well, cold brew naturally has low acidity.
Yeah.
Because
you're never getting it warm. So that helps people who, have those problems. They're like, I love coffee, but I can't blah.
Yeah.
But we don't do decaf, so I'd have no...
What?
I learned a long time ago, do what you do well. So we hate decaf, and we tell people we're never going to do it. Not even in our shop.
Never.
Never.
That is strong.
Yeah.
Third question, what's amazing about the management team? What did you hear? Been an entrepreneur for a long time. Yeah. What was that? Passion over here? Yes. Absolutely. Passion. Yes.
Knowledge, building a superior product.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also heard that you have skills outside of coffee. I mean, this whole idea of chef background and restaurant, that's tangentially related to coffee, but
Yeah, and I think that's what makes me...
it probably makes you have better coffee.
Well, it does, because you've had those experiences, so I've ran 2 multi-million-dollar restaurants as a GM before, and having that background, plus having a chef background, plus having a coffee roasting background, if someone's going to open a cafe, it's got to be me. I mean, that's... Because usually it's like one guy's like, I love coffee, but he has no idea how to manage inventory or labor costs or any of those things, and you're like, oh, cool, well, you're going to open and then close in 3 months because you don't know how to manage money. So having all of those pieces together, or, the guy's like, we love coffee and we can manage, and we're just going to put bagels out because people just want to eat bagels. That's the number one thing we hear about, like, coffee shops is they don't have good food. It's almost like bars. Bars have good beer, but then they don't have good food. So if you could do both, why not do it?
So did I hear you're going to have bagels and coffee?
No. Well, we are going to have bagels. We use a good
misheard
bagel.
that?
we're doing like one of the things that's on our menu is a chickpea wrap. So it's a chickpea curry onion wrap with a cucumber yogurt inside. A little bit different than some of the stuff that's being served right now in Rockford. And that's kind of our basis as a model too. People would apologize for putting cream and sugar in coffee. And that hit me really hard. And I was like, why are they apologizing? And it's this new trend in coffee to make it pretentious and black. And, however you want to drink your coffee, drink it. I don't care. Like, if you want to put 10 pounds of sugar, you're going to die, but I'll do it for you. And the same thing with food. If you want to come into our restaurant and be fat and happy, we got it. If you want to be healthy, we got it. You want to be vegan, we got it. Kind of accommodating for everybody so that way no one feels like left out.
Yeah, so it's like a no judgment zone for
eating.
Yeah,
because, if you want to put cream in a coffee, why is that bad? And we're not insecure about our product enough to be like, well, we don't put cream in coffee. Because some shops don't. Some shops...
It doesn't destroy the nutty notes?
No.
And the floral aura?
It might, but if maybe you don't like that. Maybe you hate that part of coffee. You should drink it how you want to drink it.
I was just trying to be pretentious. I knew that you joined me on that trip.
People, when you hear people describe, I know when people are pretentious because they'll be like, oh, this tastes like stone fruit. I'm like, does it? I've never seen a stone fruit in my life.
When's the last
Can
time
you
you had
tell
stone
me?
fruit?
Yeah, when's the last time you've had a stone fruit, friend? So.
Yeah, I love that. And don't roast your stone fruit, turns to mush. All right. I've got the catch box courtesy of the city of Rockford. This is your opportunity. The fourth question is for you. Where are you stuck, and how can this community help you out?
So like I said, I came here under the agreement to open a shop, and that went horrible. It ended a friendship, and it ended poorly. So, and then I had another person who's like, we're going to do the shop, and it ended poorly. So when you think you're funded, and you come up, and you already start the process, right? We're already doing market, we already have the demand, we're already growing the audience, but now we don't have the space. And so for us, we're really at the point now where we're trying to find the space and the funding for the space. Those are the two things that we are in the process for. So, and some of it maybe is edged out, but until it's a done deal, I'm just going to believe that it's not a done deal.
It's a good idea. All right, I've got the catch box. If you've got some ideas for him, it's your opportunity. I don't know why you're so afraid to catch that. You've never dropped it.
Yeah, well, I know.
It's very intimidating.
It is padded, but...
It is, absolutely.
I'm Diane again, and I'm happy to be here to hear your story. I hope you choose Rockford and not Beloit, for selfish reasons, obviously.
And that's our first choice. But what you'll find in Rockford, and this is part of some of the things that have to change in the city, there's a million things that are vacant, but nothing's for sale. Like Water Street Cafe has been sitting empty, it's not for sale. There's Morning Glory on 7th Street, it's been sitting empty, not for sale.
Well, you remember the conversation, Jason, that we had the other day at the golf outing about the city and restaurants?
I do remember that.
Yes. Well,
We should talk after this.
Yes, I know. We won't bring all that
We
up,
will
but-
we will synthesize our brainwaves
Okay.
over coffee
But
after this.
There's you're at the market. Mm-hmm. There's the indoor market. Have you thought of moving?
They're full.
They're full.
And they already have two bakery kind of spaces that would compete with each other. I think they're being pretty
Upstairs,
strategic of
yeah.
not doing that, yeah. I mean, our goal, if you said right now, where do you want to be? We want to be on 7th Street. We think that Midtown District's going to be the new area. It's not there yet.
Wow.
But I have vision enough and have seen the kind of same footprint in other cities that's going to be the next place.
Oh,
and it's
what's
affordable.
the man that started Katie's Cup? Can't think of his name. No, Katie's Cup on 7th Street?
I know it's through Lutheran
No.
something, I think.
No. Lutheran Service.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
I should introduce you to him. He'd be thrilled to hear that. If I could
Yeah,
remember
I just
his
when we
name.
look at the city, because I'm also partnering with a friend. Basically, they want to do a comedy club here, and so if we have a space that we don't need after 5:30, and they don't need a space until after 8:30, we're trying to figure out how to make them intertwine. So, because we both did comedy in Chicago before, so we just want to bring that entertainment to Rockford, and it helps cut my cost.
I heard it was a real laugh.
Oh, well, we've done some shows. People got offended. It's fine.
Bill,
It's a joke.
Bill
That was a
Roos.
joke.
Bill Roos. Does that
I
make
didn't get it.
You know him? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Mhm. He's just
All right,
started-
other thoughts?
Another thought, have you contacted RADAC, Rockford Area Economic Development?
No, I mean I've talked to Matt Simpson a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know if they could offer some suggestions to you for locations or
Yeah,
ideas. That's their job.
Rockford is behind the ball in the sense of entrepreneurship. There's not a structure here, so if you want to come here, like versus Chattanooga, where there's literally a structure, if you say, hey, I want to open something, there's a pathway for you to follow, and the city is encouraging of that. It's a little different here. It's just kind of, you know, when the health department tells you, send a picture of you standing next to a sink so they can see what size it is, you start to doubt the credibility of such departments. But neither here nor there.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yeah.
Person I've heard voice this.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I'm from here, right? So I want to see this place succeed so hard, but we have to be better. That's just what it comes down to being.
Well,
so.
maybe you could get us in that direction. We
Maybe.
hope.
I don't know.
Get in front of the right people.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is good. This is good feedback. Challenging but good feedback. Other thoughts on opening and his concept of opening up? I think like you've got a cafe and all sorts of concepts.
Yeah,
here.
breakfast and lunch.
Yeah.
Is the main. We won't do dinner, but we just want to have like where you can come and have a
Charlie.
reasonably priced breakfast and lunch that's good.
Charlie,
Yeah.
do you think that, no, it just left me, Iger Lab would be of help to him? No, okay. It's just another thought.
He's like, nope.
I've got some.
No one
I've
can
got some
help you
thoughts.
now.
We've got some thoughts to share with you afterwards that
Yeah,
we can probably
yeah.
get you moving. Other thoughts on where he's stuck. Now, I think most people here have been in the Rockford area for some time. What do you think of this concept? Is this something that's going to fly in the area?
I love it.
Yeah?
I love it. I think it's great. The unique coffee, the breakfast, lunch, offering not so healthy as well as healthy options. So I think there's a gap, like you said, and yours is different from other coffee shops, your ideas. So
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. 7th Street, I think, is terrific too.
Plus-
It's hard to believe there's not space on 7th Street that's open.
There is some. I mean, it's just finding the right
Yep,
place.
layout.
Because what I'm saying mostly is there's a lot of empty restaurants that aren't doing anything. There's retail. I mean, we can look across the street and see tons of retail space. But to full build out a kitchen without it being a kitchen is $200,000.
Okay.
So that's a little bit more than the 50 if it's already existing as a
Sure.
kitchen. You know what I mean? So it's
Yep.
just trying to find somewhere where it meets. And if it's already existing, for us, that's a win for the city and us because we're taking over an empty space. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I think, Charlie, you had a thought over there. Throw him the catch box. Woohoo! Underhand,
good pass.
throw. That's good.
Just a word of advice more than anything. If you're looking for financing and all, you're going to find that banks in Rockford, no offense, can be very fickle.
Yeah.
And you need to really, really, really shop around a lot and don't get frustrated because when I started my new business, and I still have the old one, but I went through a lot of banks and it was a huge learning process to realize that banks may seem like they want to get into it. It just depends where they're at that time, so just don't get frustrated
Yeah.
with that part of it.
And I think we knew, I mean, banks are out for banks. Yeah, I mean, it's not, we're not offended and it's not lost on us, but yeah, it's, and then I don't know how many of you guys, started your own business in the room and you go down the road and it's like you get a loan, you get an investment, you get a partner. Those are all the things where, you've made so many jumps to get to this point, but you'll learn it's never ending of the jumps. It's always more scary things that you have to choose to do, so.
That's true. Other thoughts? Anything else we want to share here? Catch box over to Diane.
I'll throw it to Joe.
I don't think she took.
Almost
There we
intersected.
go. I don't think she took offense at the bank statement because she's with a credit union.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, those nasty banks. What about, there is a newly vacated space in downtown Rockford that was built out to be a restaurant coffee shop, the former Capitol House. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, we wouldn't be opposed to that. The problem is, at least from what I know before when it was Kryptonite, is they want insane money, and that's probably why that guy didn't make it. I think there's many reasons why that place didn't make it, but one of the main reasons is rent. So like I have friends who own property in Chicago. They're having successful businesses, but when you don't negotiate your lease terms properly, you're killing yourself before you even open. Because the whole time, if money is oxygen for your business, you're suffocating yourself because you took too much on. It's like your house poor, but for a business, your lease poor. So some of that is like, what is the negotiation with the space? And it has to be vacant long enough for them to actually want to change. That got rented semi-quick. So if it sits for a little while, then they become a little bit more eager because then you're still paying electricity, you're paying all those things and not getting any money in return. So, yeah, but that's a great spot. I loved it when it was Kryptonite. I did not like it when it's Capitol House, but that's neither here nor there.
Other thoughts? Nothing else? All right. Well, this has been a great presentation. We do want to end here thanking you for your presentation. I don't have my mug. You know what we normally do? We normally give you a mug that says 1 million cups on it. It's really cool. It has actually, you can put coffee in it.
Whoa.
And I know that as a coffee
Where can I get
connoisseur,
coffee
you probably want another coffee mug. But I neglected to bring it up here. I'm going to get that to you.
And I actually already have one because I spoke at 1 million cups.
Well, you know what? Then we're going to take that back.
Yeah, I did the 1 million cups Chattanooga. So, yeah.
All right. Well, we do want to thank you for your presentation. I think you've got some wise words and interesting perspective coming back to the area and then trying to get something started. I think we've, Rockford's a great place. It's got some challenges like any place.
Absolutely.
But we're excited to have you here. We do want to thank our coffee sponsor, speaking of coffee.
Yeah, that's important.
Diane from Members Alliance Credit Union is your coffee sponsor for today. If you've enjoyed that coffee, you do want to give her a shout out. Go ahead and give her a hand right now. Yes, yes, yes. Not a bank, a credit union. And where do you serve? What counties do you serve? We went through this once before. Winnebago, Boone, and Ogle County. Your market is open to anybody who needs banking services as an individual, from a toddler to a senior.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. All right. Talk to Diane if you need any of those services.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming to 1 Million Cups. If you've got some options for him or some ideas, come on up afterwards. Go have an amazing day. It's beautiful outside. It's going to be 75 degrees and sunny. That's your weather forecast. Thanks for coming.
Thank you guys for having us.